Hello and welcome to Razzmatazz with Rashi. My today's guest is a highly acclaimed blogger and a freelance content writer. She writes about various topics like food, travel, grooming, gardening, lifestyle, and ghostwriting. She's a happy and cheerful grandmother and has a blog ranked among the top 100 in the world. She's a passionate home chef and is all for healthy balanced diet with simple and easy to cook recipes. In this book, she transforms the traditional recipes into gourmet by the simple turn of her ladle. It is a comprehensive fusion of recipes from Indian, Mexican, Moroccan and Chinese cuisines. Her search for quick and easy cooking has led to curate and share easy to follow methods, both for the experienced and the novice. She proclaims to be a Jugaro cook, when in fact she is a consummate one. Definitely check the links below to discover more of her gastronomic treasures. Let's welcome our today's author, Harjeet Kaur.
Hello everyone. Hi Rashi. Thank you for having me on Razzmatazz with Rashi again. Last time it was for my first ebook, Sugar and Ice and All That's Nice. Now this time it is for easy Indian fusion cooking. And I'm going to tell you a little about my book and why I wrote it. This book is actually simple and easy recipes for new cooks or singles or people who in the lockdown have started learning cooking newly, the newbies in the kitchen who think that cooking is a real chore and they avoid getting their hands dirty in the kitchen. So let me tell you that cooking can be made very simple. Like my recipes are simple and easy. Yeah, I do make the rajmas and the choles, but I make the recipe a little more easier for you to manage it and it's not very difficult. But in this book, I'm writing about breakfasts and dinners. It is going to surely tickle your palate and your mind. It has uber easy, a mixed bag of healthy and delicious breakfast ideas you can whip up in just minutes. And even those who keep thinking, what to have for dinner tonight? Well, all these answers are there in my book. I make your boring bird, that's a chicken, interesting and more in my book. So why don't you go and download it? Let me tell you a little more about the book. I usually have a very healthy and hearty breakfast. The rest of the day I tone down my meals, but my breakfast is really very healthy and hearty. It's a good portion because I feel it's the first meal of the day. You're breaking the fast. You've been keeping your body empty since last night. So you have to refuel the body, which reloads the blood sugar and gives the energy required to start a new day. It is also proven that breakfast is good for both physical as well as your mental health because there's nothing in your head when you wake up. So if you're just waking up, have something like if you have warm water with lemon or with honey or whatever you want, and then you exercise. All this needs energy. Then the breakfast, you have to go through the rest of the day. So it is essential for all ages. It is said that children who eat breakfast are able to concentrate more and have higher problem solving skills and are also more alert in class. So, and even people I see just walk out to office without anything, including my daughter. She may just have a coffee and walk out. But I think that it's a very wrong way to start the day. You should have a healthy breakfast. Don't have something oily that will tie you down, but then a healthy breakfast will give you a kickstart to the day. It's a meal to get in some vitamins and nutrients into your body, isn't it? You can have fruits, you can have milk if you can tolerate it, you can have grains, you can have eggs, anything, but make it lighter. Don't pile up on the calories in the morning. Just have healthy breakfast. That's my way of starting the day. You can have fruits and vegetables, I said. Then protein, you can use even lentils and dal like idli, dosa, pesarattu. All these have lentils, isn't it? and they're all healthy, they're fermented, so have such kind of healthy breakfast foods. And then I come to the dinner part. Usually dinners people have, those who have chicken, this is mainly for the non-vegetarians. Even I don't have chicken, but then I do cook chicken because all my kids and my grandchildren are non-vegetarian. So I don't cook any chicken that is heavily loaded with masalas, or it takes hours to cook, or it is just too difficult to digest. Chicken is the lightest in the meat category, isn't it? Chicken is reckoned to be a healthy protein fix. It can be included in your daily diet without any carbs because it's a lean meat. It doesn't put you at much risk actually. And only that is true when you don't fry it. You don't have to fry chicken. You can make it the healthy way. Use nice light spices, herbs, and you can grill it or pan fry it. So eat chicken the healthy way. The best part of chicken is that it is so versatile. Like eggs or potato, you can mix different flavors and you can make different recipes with chicken itself. Like I have recipes here from pepper chicken, which is the easiest to make. Just little butter, put in the chicken, put in some salt and pepper, just 2 whistles in the cooker and you're done. Your meal is ready actually. You don't need anything along with that. Or other recipe that I have is like you marinate the chicken in the night. Like suppose you're working and you don't have time to cook the next day. Just marinate the chicken in a few light spices and herbs and yogurt. You can mix it and keep it overnight in the fridge, and the next day when you're ready to eat, just grill it or pan fry it and your meal is ready within a very hearty meal, I must say. 10-15 minutes it takes to grill and it's ready. You can actually use homemade sauces, you can add ginger garlic paste, or you can even drizzle some wine over it to change the flavor. So every day you can have a different flavored chicken, isn't it? There's so much variety in it. So I would say that be inspired by my recipes, tweak them how you can to suit your taste and your flavors, and try out my recipes and let.
I'm sure by now all our viewers have decided what they are going to have for dinner tonight. We just love your recipes, Arjeet. They are so simple yet with a twist. So what is it that inspires you to write more about your area of expertise?
If I would answer who inspires me to write, then it is me myself. I started writing when I was literally very lonely, and I find solace in my writing. It is very therapeutic for me. When I put down things in writing, I feel that I'm opening up my soul, and I'm connecting to people who are reading my journals. But then I ventured into food because I realized that cooking for one is very difficult. I started cooking at the age of 10 in a joint family. We were five of us, and then my parents, and then later on my sister-in-law was there, my nephew was there. It was always a huge family, extended too, and lots of dinners and get-togethers. Later on, again, when I got married, I married into a joint family. We were a large family, and food was a way of connecting all of us together at the dining table, or just talking at the end of the day. And experimenting with food was always fun, trying out new things actually. Then later on, when I moved out into a nuclear family, I tried to adjust myself to cooking a little less. The quantity to lessen is not very easy when you're used to using so many ingredients and lots of quantity. Then when you have to tone down yourself, it's not easy. I used to have these huge pans, so I had to get down to a smaller pan to adjust to the nuclear family. And best thing is I don't use measures. I cannot spoon in salt, or if I'm putting tea, I measure 1 cup of water and tea. I cannot do that. I just do it randomly and somehow it turns out good. Like how I cook chicken. I don't eat it, but I know that the spices and the salt is 99.99%, it is absolutely perfect. There is no need of again tasting it or adding salt. Who to ask to taste if there's nobody? Like if there's somebody around, or I ask the maid to taste it, but then it's 99% of the time it is always perfect. Okay, that was the nuclear part of the family. Then 15 years ago or 13 years ago, when my daughter left the house, like my son left before that, and then my daughter left the house, and then I had to cook for myself, just for a single person. Can you imagine how difficult it is from this large quantity to this, and then to this minuscule thing? Like I love curry. You can't cook one bowl of curry. It's very difficult. Like you have dal makhani too. You cannot cook one bowl of dal makhani. So I had to tone down my eating habits and to change them a lot. I stopped cooking all this. I started making just sabji in the afternoon, light breakfast in the morning, and my dinners even now are, one day it may be soup, one day it may be dalia, one day it will be pani puri for sure. Then I have bhel most of the time. So I keep changing my dinners the whole week, even breakfasts like that. Then a friend suggested that I should start writing down my recipes for singles. That's how I seriously started about food blogging. That was around 2014 or 15, I guess, when I started putting down my singles recipes. The old recipes are all actually for singles. If you look at them, even the snacks, the starters are for singles. When you don't feel like cooking something, then what do? You just rush into the kitchen. You can't have bread and egg all the time. So for such singles who are not inclined, I'm especially not inclined to cook for myself. I would rather not eat than cook for myself. But then how long can you do that? So I have come down to that point where I cook light meals for myself. I cook delicious meals for myself, but they are all easy recipes, simple, and that is how I decided that I should put these all and compile them into a book. And that's how easy Indian fusion cooking. And fusion cooking, why I say, is because I'm not traditional in my cooking at all. I cannot take hours to cook in the kitchen. It is sweltering hot where I live, and I just wouldn't like to spend sweltering it out in the kitchen, actually sweating it out. I really sweat a lot. So additional recipes, yes, I tweak them. I know the purists will hate me for that, but then I think food is a personal choice and it is dynamic and it has to keep changing with the times. So instead of fast food, I don't eat fast food, but I cook my food fast with simple and easy recipes and ingredients that are usually found in the house. So I hope that I'm clear about why I started writing and what is there in my book till now. Thank you. Thank you, Rashi, for having me again on your show. It was lovely. Thank you again.
It's such a pleasure talking to you, Ajit. And I'm straight away going to check your book for some wonderful recipes. Thank you so much, and it was wonderful having you on my show. Stay tuned as I come up with another interesting book and a wonderful author in my next episode. And keep watching Razzmatazz with Rashi.